seeing again, eh, Mac?
No, not this time. This time I had the pleasure to sit and listen.
Must be nice just to go and enjoy yourself and relax and not have to work. Yeah.
In fact, Stefan de Blanche was the guest speaker, and he spoke very, very well.
Yeah, what a pleasure. Actually, I love working with Stefan. It's great to listen to as well. So it looks like he's got a career. He can step in when you decide to stop doing all the functions in Durban, Mac. Nice to chat to you. Welcome to Balls Radio again this afternoon. Thanks for chatting to us. And we're gearing up for the hangout. James Small is he's here again today. He's every Friday we got him on the show. He's sitting here listening carefully. So how's it, James?
How are you, Mac?
James, my boy, how are you?
Oh, good, thanks, boss.
Good man.
Right, so tomorrow, Mac, it's a big day. 2007, we came within 2 minutes. The Sharks, that is, came within 2 minutes of clinching a Super Rugby title. Now they've got a tougher job against the Chiefs away in Hamilton after all the travel. What do you reckon?
You know, I'm beginning to think that there's a lot of thickies in that Shark side. They must be dumb, because I don't think they've even stopped to realize they're crossing the ocean all the time. I think they're just going down to Cape Town and back.
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried about the brain stuff there. Eh?
That's a good thing then, in that case, if they're not thinking about it.
That's it. But Darren, yeah, if the energies and levels are there, and let's be honest, I was amazed when the Chiefs played Crusaders last week before their semi-final. I was very worried after seeing them on the Friday. The Crusaders weren't in that game. I've never seen Dan Carter so unurgent, if that's the word. And I felt, well, that there was a game too many, because they'd had that extra game and Chiefs were fresh.
Yeah.
And I was worried the same was going to happen with the Stormers. So the energy levels in that first half against the Stormers absolutely amazed me. So if they can produce that again, I believe there's two things where we can win. And that is, I don't know what it is with all New Zealand sides. They seem to be having trouble in the lineouts, so I don't think they're going to have all their own way in the lineouts. It'll be very interesting to see what happens in the front row, because the Sharks front row is coming so well at the moment. But having said that, the Chiefs went well against Crusaders. But the biggest point, and James, you'll know this, it's always been where we managed to get a bit of success against these guys. They play very deep with the fly half, and Croydon especially stands back in the pocket. And as Plummer worked out with the Reds, he put a lot of pressure on Genya and the guys, and he cut the back line off. And I think that's what he'll be doing tomorrow. And if the energies are there, I think you're going to see that. And I don't think the Chiefs are going to have it as easy as they did against Crusaders. Because one, Crusaders were a little bit off the boil. And secondly, surprisingly, they had a drift defense on there instead of getting up in their face and denying Sonny Bill Williams the space. So I think we've got a chance if that works.
Mac, I said to Darren last week that I thought the tight five were gonna battle against the Stormers. You know, the bigger guys don't travel as well as us youngsters and us backline players. And I was really surprised that front row stepped up like they did last week. Having said that, the pressure to the fly off and the depth that you're talking about, all of that pressure's got to start up front there. You know what I mean? You got to get them to play deeper than what they are. And I don't know if these guys can stand up again. I mean, it's amazing. Like you say, I've done that, you've done that, and I don't know how they're doing it. I really don't. I think, you know, hats off to Plum and his team around him. They've obviously come up with a plan. They stayed in Sydney on their way through, and it's obviously working out for them, eh?
Absolutely, James. And do you remember the same thing happened to us in '96? When we went across, we had to play the Reds, well, which was Queensland then.
Yes,
and we gave them that big one.
Yeah,
and then we went into the final the next week, and we didn't even have to travel, but it was just that game too much for us.
Yeah.
And the boys got into us over there. This is a matter of interest. It might be interesting for people to know. Do you remember we started off so well against Auckland, and you got pinned for being offside in our own 22.
Yeah.
And I mean, one-eyed referee. I showed him years later that you were never offside. He had his back to you, and he just assumed because you got up so quick that you were offside. And that annoyed me intensely. But James, yourself, I wasn't surprised against the Stormers. I was with Peter Euster on Saturday morning. We were just finalising the schoolboy side, and they flew back, and I said, Peter, you're going to get drilled in the front row, because I don't believe that the Stormers have got a good front row.
No.
And that showed up. And so as you've just said, if we can put that same pressure onto the Chiefs front row.
Ish. Yeah, it's that little road. As you get to the riverside, loses it all the time. Max almost at home. Yeah. I was sitting back going, you know what? I could sit and listen to.
I love listening.
Now you like listening to former coach and player discussing and reminiscing about similarities and things that happened back in the day.
And Mac doesn't forget, eh?
Yeah.
No, Mac doesn't forget anything. He's the most embarrassing person to sit and watch a rugby match with, though.
It's a pity we lost him there. But
and
Johnny,
Carlos also phoned Darren. He says he's waiting for you as well.
All right, give me your phone. We'll see if we can get Carlos on the line and get his thoughts on the game as well.
Some problem.
No, I'm going to have words with him now, Johnny.
Yeah, okay.
Nonsense.
Please answer, Mr. Spencer.
New Zealanders come here and let you down like that. That was cool though. That was really nice, and some valid points made there. But Max sounds like he thinks the guys can do it. So, but you going that it's a week too many, eh, James?
No, I don't,
especially for the forwards.
Darren, you got to understand the big guys don't travel. They don't sit comfortably. They don't travel as easy. They get through a hell of a lot more physical craft in a game. So I'm trying to qualify what I said last week. These guys are exposed.
Hello?
Sorry, we'll get to that in a moment. Carlos, how's it? It's Balls Radio. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, buddy. How's it?
Yeah, very good. Thanks for joining us. We'll have a chat to you in just a moment. James Small sitting here with us as well, getting ready for the hangout. We've kind of extended it a little bit because we already started talking about tomorrow. James, just finish what you were saying there.
Carlos, how's it, big guy?
How you going, brother? Yours?
Yeah, all good, thanks, matey. All good. I was just telling Darren that the big guys don't travel as well as we do. Obviously, with the physical elements that they go through more than what we do at the back line. I mean, it's obvious. And the bruising comes out at altitude. The travel isn't good for them because none of them fit in the bloody seats. So, yeah, that was my concern last week.
You've been a bit harsh here, bro.
Have you seen the size of beast, bro? But it's difficult for the big guys to travel, and I don't know whether they're going to be able to do it again. I really hope they do. My money's on them, but I think it's going to be quite difficult for them to get up again.
I have to agree with you, to be honest. To sort of, what is it, 2 or 3 weeks with that amount of travel, I just don't think, I think come the 60th minute, I think they might just run out a bit of steam, to be honest.
Yeah, that's my concern.
It's just one of those. It's a final, though, isn't it? And you just never know what you can pull out of a bag and what the body can do when it's finals time. So who knows? If I think they're in the game with 30 to go, I think they'll go all the way.
Yeah, and particularly, I mean, if they got to play catch up, particularly with all the travel, they're behind in the game, and they've got to do that in the last 20. Although they've been no chance. But I mean, if they can get in front, we've seen what their defence is like. They'll know it's the last 20 minutes of the competition. As I say, I've had this nightmare about Sonny Bill doing the same to them that Brian Banner did in 2007. And Steve Walsh was the ref as well. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But they've got to be in front, right, Carlos?
I think, not necessarily in front, but I think they've got to have a sniff. I think if they're too far behind, like you said, I just think the Chiefs won't give up their lead, and I think the home crowd will bring them home, And as I said, I think the Sharks might just start doubting themselves and probably just mentally get a bit tired.
Yeah.
But if they're within a sniff and if they've got the lead with 20, 30 minutes to go, and it's a final, I think they'll pull a little bit extra out of the bag and maybe finish it off.
All right. We didn't get a chance to chat to you after the box and dine a month or so ago, Carlos.
Okay.
You did eventually fight in that event, right?
Yeah, no, we sort of had a couple of fighters pull out, so they got on a third string, and we actually had a bit of a sort of a sparring session, really, because one of the guy came in unfit and he didn't do a lot of training, so we sort of just had a play around for 3 rounds. But no, it was quite good. Actually, it was a good night. All
right, Dan, thank you very much. I must thank you because I know your fight proceeds from that went to my little boy. So
yeah, no worries, mate.
Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. And I mean, any idea, commiserations as to what's gone down, and it's kind of sad to see what's been happening at Ellis Park over the last few months. Any idea on what your future holds? Are you looking to stay in South Africa and stay involved in rugby here in this country, or don't you know yet?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking to stay in South Africa. I enjoy the country and enjoy the people here. So, I'm in no hurry to leave. So I'm obviously sort of talking to a few people at the moment and terms of where my what decisions I'll make over the next sort of couple of weeks. But I think it might be time to sort of move out of rugby and look at doing something different. But we're just not too certain at the moment. As I say, I've got a couple of meetings coming up in the next sort of week or so, and hopefully we can come to a sort of decision in maybe a couple of weeks' time.
Carlos, I believe that Grant Bashford, who's one of the assistant coaches down at the Sharks, his contract is expiring. I'd love to see you down there, bro, helping those guys out.
Well, who knows, mate? You know, just never know what comes knocking on your door.
But I wish you well, bro, and I'm sorry that people have treated you badly. That's not good, eh?
Oh, that's life, bro, and you know, everyone gets treated like that occasionally. But hey, one door closes and another one opens, and you know, I've always believed that things happen for a reason. So you know, I just got to take it on the chin and move on. That's the sort of man I am. So something will pop up sooner or later, no doubt. So yeah.
Well, wish you all the best, and I know that you're kind of very, very settled here now in South Africa, and probably Joburg as well. You're building a house here in South Africa at the moment, aren't you?
I've just finished actually. So we finished, just moved into about a month ago. So I might have to put it on the market now, I think.
Well, we hope you don't have to do that. As you say, we hope something does happen pretty soon for you. It's great to have you here, Carlos, and thanks for joining us this afternoon. Simon, did you have a final one for?
Oh no, I just wanted to say to Carlos, John Plum here. Come down to the Sharks anytime, mate. One Kiwi to another.
Cheers, Plums.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Yeah, a little bit sick.
Thanks a lot, Carlos. Nice chatting to you, bud. All the best.
Cheers,
Cheers. Bye-bye. Carlos Spencer joining us here on Balls Visual Radio this afternoon. For those that don't know about that last part, if you haven't heard the news, Carlos Spencer no longer involved with the Lions, has had his contract terminated there, so lots of drama going on. Is this
We the best on 3, 1, 2, 3, we the best.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on balls.co.za. balls.co.za.